How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Weather SpongeBob 1000, and in this video, we're going to determine how much more or less snowfall you should experience this winter in each area of the United States. Will this winter be much more active than usual when it comes to snowfall, or will you receive less snowfall than usual? I'll answer those questions in this video, along with several other questions you may have regarding the snowfall anomaly this winter. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. So let's begin by taking a look at the average snowfall patterns during La Nina years, which is definitely very important data point we need to take a look at, because of course we're entering a third consecutive La Nina this winter, and that plays a major role in terms of the snowfall pattern that you will experience this winter for the United States. And we do see that typically during La Nina years, we see a lot more snowfall than average throughout the northern portion of the United States, where in some areas you receive over 12 inches of snow above average, especially in the higher elevations of the Rocky Mountain ranges. And we still see a large area of the United States, especially the northern United States, experience seasonal snowfall that's 4 to 12 inches above average during a La Nina year, which definitely plays a major role in terms of making my forecast, because of course we typically see a lot more snow than average further northward during a La Nina year, while when we look further southward, we see less snowfall than average, more typically in areas such as New Mexico, Texas, and even portions of Colorado, Kansas, and northern Arizona. You typically receive less snowfall than average, and that's largely in part due to the fact that La Nina years typically bring much drier and warmer than average conditions for the southern United States. So that definitely puts a limit on how much snowfall you would receive during a La Nina year. And we see a little bit less snowfall than average, surprisingly enough, closer to the Appalachian Mountain ranges and the Northeast. So that's definitely something we're going to need to consider when making this forecast as well. Now, taking a look at taking a look at the North Atlantic Oscillation Index, another major factor when determining how much more or less snowfall you will experience this winter. We do see that headed into the winter months of December and January, the most likely scenario is that we will be in a negative North Atlantic Oscillation, which will definitely make the conditions a lot colder than average, and not only that, a lot snowier than average for much of the United States, thanks to a weak polar vortex that's expected to build once we enter the negative North Atlantic Oscillation pattern, where we see the jet stream winds weaken significantly to a point where the cold air is able to meander further southward into the southern United States. And right now, when it comes to snow cover extent, this year is 6 out of the past 54 years when it comes to the area of snow extent this year, which at this point this year, which is definitely very, very significant, because the larger the snow extent is during the fall months, the more likely the polar vortex is weaker, which means that the more likely we're going to see more Arctic blasts and jet stream dips through the United States for more snowfall to occur, especially in the northern United States, where the negative North Atlantic Oscillation plays a more significant role in the Northeast, and let's say areas further southward, where the cold air would really impact areas further northward. Now, taking a look at what typically happens during a negative and positive North Atlantic Oscillation phase. We do see that during a positive phase, the jet stream winds are a lot stronger, which pretty much forces the cold air to stay trapped right around the polar regions, while during a negative phase, we see the jet stream winds are a lot weaker. So that allows the cold air to have more likely of a chance to move further southward into the United States, bringing much colder and snowier than average conditions, especially towards the northern United States, as a result of La Nina that's pretty much going to lock the air a little bit further northward than, let's say, year that's a then let's say during a neutral phase or during an El Nino phase. So as a result, we should see that cold air dip into the northern United States and bring much more snow than average, for most likely for much of the northern United States, thanks to a negative North Atlantic oscillation. And another factor we're going to need to pay close attention to is a drought monitor, of course, which I've been talking to you guys about over the past several videos, that there's a severe drought pretty much anywhere that's just to the east, just to the west of the Mississippi River Valley. And we even see some areas just to the east of the Mississippi River Valley in some severe drought conditions. So this will play a major role because, of course, it takes a very long time for a drought to completely go away. And it's unlikely that we're going to see the severity of this drought subside as we enter winter, because, of course, we're already in early November. Winter starts within a month and a half, at least the astronomical start of winter. For many people, the start of winter in their mind starts way before that. So as a result, it's unlikely we're going to see this drought go away by the time winter comes around. So as a result, we should in the drought stricken areas, there's more likely of a shot you will experience drier than average conditions, which will definitely put a big limit in terms of how much snowfall you should receive this winter, especially in the areas in the southwest where already during a La Nina you experience drier and warmer than average conditions. Now, adding a severe drought on top of that will just make it very difficult for the areas further southward to receive a heavy amount of snowfall. So as a result, for a lot of the southern United States, I'm expecting the snowfall anomalies to be below average for this year, thanks to this drought going on and thanks to the fact that a La Nina is expected to build this winter, which will bring drier and warmer than average conditions for southward. However, despite the fact that the northern United States, at least portions of it closer to the Pacific Northwest, are under a drought at this time, I eventually do expect this drought to go away, because I do expect eventually that the La Nina conditions will outweigh the fact that there's a drought. We're going to see more troughs move through the area, and typically the most wet part of the season for the Pacific Northwest is during the winter. So while during the summer it's not out of the ordinary for the Pacific Northwest to experience drought conditions. So thanks to the fact that there's going to be a La Nina that's going to build this winter, I do expect more troughs to move through and eventually take the Pacific Northwest out of a drought, or at least make the drought a lot less severe in the areas further northward, such as the northern Midwest and the Pacific Northwest. So despite the fact that there's a drought, I still do expect the conditions to be more moist and colder than average, which I think will enhance a shot that this winter will be snowier than average for the Pacific Northwest. Now, however, I do still expect the drought to at least have some effects, because let's say if the drought wasn't there, I expect it to be much more snowy than average for the Pacific Northwest. But since the drought is there, I am subsiding my snowfall anomaly forecast just a little bit, because I do expect the drought to at least have some effects and limit at least some potentially major snowstorms from impacting the Pacific Northwest. But I still do expect the snowfall anomalies to be higher than average this year for the Pacific Northwest. Now, taking a look at my winter forecast, which I made, I think, around 2 weeks ago now. So I won't go too in detail with this. If you want an even more in detail forecast regarding this winter, you could check out my my previous winter videos I made. But point is that I'm expecting it to be much colder and snowier than average for the northern United States and much warmer for the southern United States. And of course, this forecast played a major role in terms of my snowfall anomaly forecast. So that's something to keep in mind when making this forecast. Now, taking a look at my total snowfall anomaly forecast for this winter. So in the extreme northern portions of the Great Lakes, I'm expecting 24 more inches of snow above average, which is quite significant, and you definitely will notice it right around the northern Great Lakes is as a result of a negative Arctic Oscillation, which will bring more colder air to the upper Great Lakes, as well as more snowstorms, more lake effect snow, of course. 12 to 24 inches more snow than averages forecasting just to the south of that, as I still do expect that the La Nina will bring a lot more jet stream dips, as well as a negative North Atlantic Oscillation. 6 to 12 inches just to the south of that, which includes cities like Chicago, Cleveland, New York City, pretty much the entirety of the Interstate 95 corridor. I'm expecting 6 to 12 more inches of snow this winter compared to what you typically experience during a given winter, as I do expect that we're going to see much more significant jet stream dips this year, which will promote more nor'easters and major blizzards that impact the northeast, and more snowstorms in general that impact much of the northern United States. And then just south that, I'm expecting 1 to 6 inches of more snow compared to average. This is a little bit further northward than last year's forecast. This is as a result of the drought that's going on right around the Midwest. I would put this 1 to 6 inch category a little bit further southward, and even a 6 to 12 inch category a little bit further southward. But thanks to the drought that's going to dominate the southern United States, I am pushing my snowfall, the areas where you're going to receive more snowfall than average, a little bit further northward thanks to that drought. But I still do expect a little bit more snowfall than average in places such as Iowa, a large portion of Nebraska, and even extending into Virginia Beach and potentially right around the Denver area as well. So make sure to keep that in mind. And in the areas where you should expect less snowfall than average, you should expect less snowfall than average throughout Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Of course, it is as a result of not only the drought, but the fact that the La Nina will continue to bring warmer than average conditions for southern United States, as well as drier than average conditions. And then I'm expecting much less snowfall than average right around New Mexico and Arizona, which is typical during a La Nina year, as shown by the snowfall anomaly for La Nina years that I just showed you just a couple slides ago. So this is my total snowfall anomaly forecast for this winter. If you want even more in detail forecast regarding how much snow or less snowfall you should experience compared to average, just make sure to comment down below your specific location, and I'll make sure to give you guys more in detail forecast regarding the snowfall anomaly this winter for your specific location. So make sure to comment down below if you're interested. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more about the content, and I hope you guys have a great day.